Hello there, humans, and happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody stays in full, having a good time with your families if you celebrate it, and having some good food at the very least if you don't. And today we have a little quickie for the holidays. We went to go see Wicked with some buddies, and TLDR, when we first came out, not a big fan. I think everybody agreed that it was a bit too much, too long. Movie was kind of not everywhere, but it just more music and not enough fleshing out the story, and that was kind of the verdict at the time. Me personally, I do agree with some of those points, but I do gotta give it its credit where credit is due, where the music was good, even though there was too much of it. Personally, I think 3 hours for a musical, especially in this current time of age, is probably too long, and I thought that it was too long, so that's another bad point for me. Too long, a bit too much music. Could have been shortened for sure. I think even the original screenplay isn't 3 hours long, by the way. They could have done better on that because you do feel that time. Trust me. What is some good things? Well, music-wise, actually pretty solid. Except one of my gripes is they used the song Popular, which I have come to get bored of and dislike. I do not like that song. But Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, they did a really good job doing their song pieces. And honestly, Cynthia, I gotta give her props. I know she's a cringe machine for the Wicked PR right now, but she did really well as the witch, and she did really well for her singing. Actually, she was one of my favorites. I gotta give her props. I really do. And even just overall, the props, the choreography, the setup that they did, the world that they built to show us, I gotta give it to them. That was one of the best parts. I know it's a musical. We're supposed to have music and we're supposed to sing and dance and whatnot. But the thing is, I think this one's going to be very niche. And once you sit down and step away from the music part of it and try to watch like the movie parts, they don't really do enough to catch you. Now, granted, obviously the cast, they have pretty corny moments. It's pretty campy. I think that's kind of a normal when you're watching a musical-esque style piece. Some parts just didn't work. Like the people interactions, although they were able to be really good actors, I gotta give them that. I just didn't jive with it, and maybe it's because to me, it really felt like I was watching Glee. I swear I was watching Glee in a modern day. And one of my friends was kind of saying the same thing. I was like, I feel like I'm watching Glee. I was like, oh shit, I think he's right. Maybe that's it. I don't know per se. I have to make sure, but that could be why when they try to do normal things and talk, just the fact that in the back of my robot goo brain, it was thinking of Glee. I don't know. So let me know what y'all think if the movie felt organic to you. Although I gotta give it to them, Galinda and Elphaba, they had pretty decent screen times, except for the one part where it was kind of cringy was the dance scene when they're having the party. Galinda doing her punk move dance routine, I thought that was a bit awkward, if I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't really like this strong moment. It just felt awkward. Like it genuinely just felt awkward to me. So take with that as you will. But back to the movie chat. I think it didn't do a bit enough to get you feeling for these characters. I think they should have toned down the music singing a little bit, because when they're having good actual character talks, it jumps to a song and it just makes me go, okay, that's fine. But I don't know if it's just the songs that they chose or just how fast it was trying to move in those sections that I just didn't jive with it. By the end of the movie, I know people were crying, because this is a part 1 of 2, by the way, which they didn't point out and we found out while we watched it. I didn't feel sad or like this was like, oh, my tears, my heart guts. I felt more sad for the subplot that they introduced with the teachers being taken away. I thought that was way more interesting. Yes, we got a tiny smidge of that, and it was kind of out of nowhere. But that was kind of interesting and I wanted more of that. Now, does the film deserve to be pooped on and called terrible? Part of me wants to say that. I do have to respect the musical aspects, so I did change my verdict from a terrible movie to around a C. It is probably a one-time watch if you have an interest for musicals. But if you go back and check out the original Wicked book, you're going to see how they did change quite a few things. Maybe that'll make it worse or better for you. I don't know. It depends on you. But for a musical, I do gotta give it its respects, and that's probably where it's gonna be my weak point, where I'm just gonna say it. I did enjoy some of the musical, it's just that it was too long, didn't let the characters breathe in some parts, and it really didn't get me to connect as deep as some other people seem to have connected. But maybe I'm just a bit too cold and callous and I just don't care for it like that, and I wanted a bit more, less singing, if you will. So let me know what y'all think. Maybe I don't make any sense again. Then again, I'm pretty casual with the musicals, so maybe I just missed the mark entirely. So a solid, safe movie. With that being said, I'm out of here. Take care.